Greetings everyone. Today I'm going to talk about work permits. Now work permits, there's a lot to cover, right? Because there are different types of work permits. So I'm going to dedicate this segment to work permits for people who want to just come to Canada, who come to Canada as visitors, for example, and they want to convert their work permit to their visitor visa to a work permit, which is all doable. And lately there has been a lot of conversation happening around, well, hey, I can come to Canada to work, I can come as a visitor, I can convert my visitor visa to a work permit, which is all correct. However, there are certain things that everybody needs to know. It is not that simple. It is not just coming to Canada and saying, now I would like to have a work permit. It isn't. So what's involved usually, and this is under normal circumstances, there are programs, there are exceptions to everything, to all categories. And this is no different for this type of conversion. So the normal circumstances, in order for a visitor who is in Canada to begin working, they need a work permit. To get that work permit, the very first thing that needs to be done is you must get employment. You must secure a job offer from a Canadian business. Now, it doesn't have to be a large business, it doesn't have to be a big company. It can be a sole proprietor, it could be a medium-sized business, a small business, business with 100 employees, business with 1 employee, business with no employees. It doesn't matter. You need a job offer. You need a business, a company to have interest in you and to want to hire you. Now, as a visitor, you cannot begin work until you actually get that work permit. So the job offer entails the following. Your employer has to demonstrate interest in hiring you, and once they do that, they would have to go through a process. It's called LMIA, Labor Market Impact Assessment. The purpose of that application is done through a very different department than Immigration Canada, and a firm like ours can help your employer with the process from the beginning until the end without any headaches. The purpose is the following: to demonstrate that it is a legitimate business. It is important that the government know that the company or the business that is offering you the position are legitimate. Secondly, they need to demonstrate that they can afford to pay you a salary, because you are an international worker or international person from another country coming to Canada to work. So the government wants to watch out for your best interests as well, that you do not get abused, you do not get underpaid, that you are in tune with the wages that are being offered for that position, and the company has to demonstrate they can pay you. Now, the third thing is that you are not coming here to take away jobs from Canadians. Naturally, and I'm sure it's like this in a lot of countries, all the jobs in Canada are for Canadian citizens or permanent residents first and foremost, and jobs that are in high demand, meaning that there is some shortage in maybe certain sectors, then foreign nationals should be able to fill them in order for the businesses to continue to grow, operate, expand, and contribute to the economy. So these are the 3 things: legitimacy, affordability to pay the foreign worker, and that you are not taking away jobs from Canadians. The first 2 criteria the employer will have to meet by providing certain documents, and we make it very easy for employers to do so, to meet these requirements. And the third one, of course, is up to us. We prepare the entire application for the employer. It takes about 3 months. We take care of absolutely everything. How this works is, if you do find an employer who is interested in hiring you, all you do is connect us with that employer. We make a phone call, you can give them our contact information, or vice versa, you give us the person in charge, who is in charge, their contact information, and we call them, have a simple conversation, explain everything in plain language, and if they are interested in proceeding further, we begin the process. It takes 3 months, they get approval to hire somebody who's not Canadian, which is you. After we get that approval, we can apply for your work permit and convert your visitor visa to a work permit. It is also important to understand the obligations under the work permit that you are going to be receiving through this type of process. And it is that you are only allowed to work specifically for that company only. If you want to part ways, no. First of all, you're not obligated to remain in that position. You're not glued to that position. The employer can you and employer can part ways. You can quit, you can get laid off, you can just part ways. The employer has to, of course, comply with all the Canadian codes, Labor Employment Act. Just like with any other employee, there's no difference between an international worker and the rights of somebody who's a Canadian citizen or a permanent resident. But so if you do part ways, it is important to understand you're not allowed, or you're not going to be able to use that specific work permit to work anywhere else. So if you do find another job, you want to switch jobs, you're allowed to do that. Nobody's stuck to each other. However, you cannot use that permit to work anywhere else, and your new employer would have to go through the same process as well. And then you would get another work permit, again with that company's name on it, and so on and so forth. So again, conversion of a visitor visa to a work permit is doable. However, as you can tell, it is not as simple as 1, 2, 3. However, we can make this a very painful and straightforward process for your employer, get them approved, and get you the work permit that you need in order to work in Canada. Until next time, if you have any questions, you'd like any further assistance with anything at all, please contact us, Globe Immigration 647-986-8472. You can reach us on WhatsApp, which is the same phone number as well. You can email us, but do get in touch if you have any questions. Thank you, and until next time.